Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is, I can never see, February the 10th, 2022. Today, I'm going to help you use reviews ethically so that you can get more clients in your practice. Now, there are a lot of pieces and parts to this, and I'm going to do my very, very best to explain what's going on. It's not complicated. It's just ethical grayness. And if you have hired a business coach, or if you're trying to cross pollinate with other industries, or perhaps this is your second career, it's going to seem strange not to ask people for reviews, right? Because that's what people do. I know when I want to go to a hotel, if it's new, I'm going to look up the reviews. If I'm going to go to a new show, I'm going to look up the reviews. If I'm looking for a new vet, like I'm looking at my dogs outside playing with a piece of rope about this big, so somebody's going to get hurt, I'm going to look up the reviews. So for us as counselors, in the protected health information and chapter 611 and House Bill 300 and HIPAA, there are so many laws governing protected health information, and we must abide by all of them. And I know it's weird because I see like plastic surgeons all the time. They'll be like, hey, this is, Brenda Jones over here, or Susie Moore, and this is what they had done. And, you're thinking, wait a second, how do they get away with that? Or I'll see like a dentist, and the dentist will have, here's a happy customer. And I'm like, oh, there's a face. Wait, what? So it's a little bit different with us. And I'm going to go through all of the pieces and parts of that. Now, what I don't get to, those of you who are in my Step It Up community, we're going to have a full-on course on this at 10 a.m. And it's going to be recorded and archived in your community and in your profile, in the Kate Walker Training profile. So I'm going to go into more depth. But I wanted to use the Thursday 30 to show you exactly what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to share my screen because I love to share my screen. So we're going to start with Google your business. If you have not Googled your business and set up your Google profile in your Google My Business, it's easy to get started, but you have to get started. Now that's for if you're going to use colleague reviews. So I guess I should back up. I'm going to talk about two different kinds of reviews: colleague reviews and client reviews. Okay. So for colleague reviews, the Google My Business will take you to your Google profile. When you sign in, it's going to look something like this. This is my achievebalance.org profile. This is my business. This is where I run my practice and see my clients. And of course, mine's completely virtual now. So I've really had to go in and tweak some things so people can find me. But when you're in your Google My Business profile, and we talked about this last time, when you click on reviews, you'll see reviews. Now, I'll talk about those in a second because those are colleague reviews. But about halfway down the page on your home page, you'll see Get More Reviews. And when you click, there's your share review form. Now, that's for colleagues. Those are for people who have seen your work. I don't care if they're colleagues who are students in class with you and they've seen you present, or it's a supervisor where you used to work at a hospital and they think you're super professional. The other piece is for clients, though. For example, I use SurveyMonkey, and I have an outgoing review. And there's a way for us to design that and to put some questions in there that are, the Likert scale, on a scale of 1 to 5. How do you feel about the service you received, the wait time, etc.? And then SurveyMonkey has a real beautiful way of presenting those findings without giving anybody's names. And that's what I'm going to talk about more at 10 o'clock. Now, one of the things you have to understand, the ethics of reviews. I know it's easy to think, well, I'm just going to give my client a release of information and then they can fill it out. It's going to allow me to share their comment and how much they love me and how much they love their session today. Well, here's the thing: an ROI, release of information, isn't forever. And if you never revisit the ROI with your current client, they generally expire 1 year after the date that they're signed. So for instance, if you're at a nonprofit and you have that big poster hanging up in the hallway with a past client, Fred, who loved the service he got, but it was like from 2016, that ROI is long gone. That doesn't even apply anymore. And so the law that we look at, I'll just refer to LPC, but it's LMFT, any license has this law, which is you're going to get in trouble if you do anything for your benefit and the detriment of your client. Your benefit and the detriment of your client. So, for example, there's no law that states you cannot sell books you write, right? You can sell books you write, but you have to explain to your client that you benefit from that money. You have to explain what the benefit is. Well, with a client review, a current client review, the benefit's obvious, right? If your client is saying, oh my gosh, I love Susie. She's the best counselor I've ever had. Everybody needs to go see Susie. Susie, that's a 5-star review. That's amazing, right? You're going to put that out there. You're going to make sure everybody knows it in social media because, your client Janet over here signed an ROI. Well, 6 months down the road, you challenge Janet. She doesn't like your challenge. And she says, you know what? I don't think I'm going to come back. That's an ethical dilemma, right? Is that ROI good anymore? Is it your benefit and not Janet's so much? If Janet finds out you're still using her review, but she really doesn't like the counseling with you anymore, or she parted ways or whatever happened, now she can say, I need you to remove that. Or if she doesn't want to contact you, she can simply start a complaint process. And after that all comes out in the wash, the rule that they look at is, was that review for your benefit or for the client's benefit, right? The answer is obvious. It's your benefit. And so ethically, we say stay away from client reviews, client written reviews. And even if you have the release of information. So if you're running a website right now and LPC associates about to be or wannabes, you guys are about to get vetted. You get the stamp of approval probably in a few weeks to be able to be self-employed. And if you go to the Texas Supervisor Training Counselor Directory, we've got about 10 supervisors already listed who are willing to supervise you. I'm going to post the link here in just a little bit as soon as we finish this. I want you to be aware, though, that website, if you've got client information, it's going to be trouble, right? So stay away from that. Instead, go to SurveyMonkey or your favorite survey program. There's some great surveys out there, and give your clients an exit survey. On a scale of 1 to 5, how did you like this? On a scale of 1 to 5, how did you like that? Then you can post data, right? It's easy to post data on your website. 4 out of 5 clients think that we're the bomb. 4 out of 5 clients thought that we were great. Our receptionists were wonderful. Nobody had to wait. They got in quickly. Whatever you decide to measure, right? But that's a great way to use client reviews that is ethical. Now, there's one teeny tiny little issue, right? And that's social media, right? With social media, you want to use it, right? You want to use it for clients or potential clients to find you. But how do you stop current clients from outing themselves? Well, Blaine Hummel is going to come talk to the Step It Up community on February 17th. So if you're a member of the Step It Up community, we're going to have an in-depth Q&A with him. Again, we're going to record it, archive it, so you have it forever and ever. I'm going to post information. We're running a special right now in the Step It Up community, and I'll post that in just a bit. But I want you to understand, if you are like me, and you have 2 businesses, right? I've got my clinical practice. I have my Kate Walker Training, where I offer the 40-hour training to become an LPC or LMFT supervisor in Texas. And I blew it last week. I was giving a presentation, and I was pushing February is all about share the love. I had my Google review ready. I put it in the chat several times so people could, if you love this presentation, please go into the Google chat, give me a great review, give me, and I always say, give me a 5-star review. If you can't, then give me a phone call. I don't want a 4-star review. I don't want a 3-star review. I want a 5-star review or a phone call, Apple or a cookie. If you have a problem with something that I'm doing, oh my goodness, tell me about it. I need to know so that I can fix that, right? So give me a 5-star review. Well, the reviews started coming in, and I noticed that my professional review was showing up on my personal, I'm sorry, not personal, but my Achieve Balance website. So I was like, oh no, that's terrible. And then I thought, well, no, it's not terrible. I'm cross-pollinating. I'm literally, so if somebody's looking for me to be their counselor, they're an individual couple, someone who's looking for achievebalance.org for counseling, they're going to see these amazing reviews from my colleagues. And yes, they're talking about the presentation, and they're saying, oh, I love the supervisor training. And oh, I love this, the consultation group that we do monthly to talk about issues. Well, for a client, a potential client, that's still a great review. So I didn't really blow it. And it was great because I actually put out the right Google review later, because I have 2 businesses that I own, right? So I have 2 Google review links. And when I gave out the correct one, well, then my colleagues were nice enough to give me reviews on my Kate Walker Training Google page. So I appreciate them for that. So there's so much that goes into this when you're trying to use reviews to boost your business. In February, we're all about share the love. So I want to challenge you to share your Google review link. I do this every year. Put it out in the lemonade stand. Put it in this thread. If you have a colleague in the Badass Business Group, message them. Say, hey, Susie, I know we had each other in our psychopharmacology class, and I know you said you kind of liked that presentation I did on psychedelics. So could you please give me a review? Here's my Google review link. If that's too much for you, right? If you're not there, then if you do one thing today, do your Google My Business, claim your domain, get in there, get that Google review link, and challenge yourself in the month of February to share that with one friend. And then do them a solid. Go get their Google link. If they haven't claimed their business, go get them and help them claim their business, and you guys cross-pollinate with each other. So this has been about the ethics of reviews. Ethics of client reviews. Your benefit, not the client's benefit. So we're going to stay away from client reviews that require release of information. ROIs aren't forever. And social media outing is a thing, right? So Blaine Hummel's going to talk to us more about that on the 17th in the Step It Up community. Also, just a little housekeeping. Don't forget, in the Badass group, I do post job openings every week. I try to keep up with that. So if you know folks in Texas who are hiring graduate students, we really need sites in Texas for graduate students to do practicum. So let's share the love with that as well. And what else? Don't forget Amy Wine. See this in the thread. I've got my thread going right here. Don't forget Amy Wine is coming to us on the 21st, and she's going to talk about the best week ever, because February is all about not only sharing the love about how awesome you are, but treating yourself awesome too. All right. So those of you in the Step It Up community, I'll see you in about 10 minutes, and we'll get going on that training. Everybody else, I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Remember, #counselors for life, #counselors don't quit. See you soon.